This conference will now be recorded.
Good evening, everyone. Am I audible? So please type as yes if I am audible in the chat box. Chandana, Netra, Priyanka, Ujesh.
Mm.
Do you have any doubts? I hope you all practiced. Okay, so we'll talk about today's agenda of this class. Start from the concept like MAC address. So last class I've shown you how to get the MAC address and IP address and port numbers. To understand much more details about MAC address, MAC stands for Media Access Control. Media Access Control. This is also called as physical address, even also called as Ethernet address, also called as permanent address. So this is a permanent address and also media access MAC address. MAC address, physical address, Ethernet address, permanent address, all are same. When we talk about the structure of the MAC address, yes, there are 6 fields are there: field 1, field 2, field 3, field 4, field 5, field 6. Every field there will be a 2 characters hexadecimal number. Example like this: DC, OE, sorry, 0E, A1, BB, 1B, 09. Just it is an example how this would be, and each field has 8-bit capacity. Here also It has 8-bit capacity, 8-bit capacity, 8-bit capacity, 8-bit capacity. The range of each field 0 to F. 0 to F. It's a hexadecimal number. 0 to F, 0 to F, 0 to F. Hexa means 6. Decimal means 10. The structure of the number, like decimal number 0 to 9. After 9, if I want to represent 10, so we will write 10 as a, 11 as B, 12 C, 13 D, 14 E, then 15 F. This is a structure. So hexadecimal. So on each field we chooses hexadecimal number. And as I said, here there are 6 fields, and each field separated by hyphen, which uses hyphen, and again each field has 8 bits capacity. Now 6 fields into 8 bits is equal to 48 bits. Now if I want to represent MAC address capacity is 48 bit address. So IP address has 32-bit address capacity. MAC address has a 48 bits address capacity. And which uses MAC address uses hexadecimal number, and every MAC address has two parts. There are two main parts. So that first part, manufacturer ID, MFG ID, the MFG ID which has 24 bits capacity. Next we have a device ID, again which has a 24-bit capacity. And this MAC address assigned by the manufacturer of the device, manufacturer of the device. So which are the devices will have a MAC address? So every network interface card will have a which has a MAC address. Switches has MAC address. Router has MAC address. And when yesterday I told you to get MAC address in Windows, I've told you in Windows operating system, you have to open command prompt. In the command prompt, you have to type get MAC. If you type get MAC command, then press enter key, which will display MAC address. So display of MAC address when you type this command. Hope is that understood now. So the structure of the MAC address, where you could see the MAC address, the network devices. Which are the network devices? Network interface card, switches, routers. And even yesterday I told you how to get routing table concepts. Hope you all remember that. The last end of the yesterday's sessions, I taught you about that how to get a router printing, routing table printing. Now and also I spoke about port numbers also. So when I talk about port numbers has a 16 bits capacity. It's an integer number. A port number is a virtual point. I'll tell you about later. So virtual point, also called as logical address, and this port number where the network connections which is going to start and end. If the network connections is started, then which will have a port number, and which will end the network connections also once if you stop the services. Okay, so these ports are software based, not hardware based, software based, and managed by operating system. Okay, might be a Windows operating system, Linux operating system, whichever operating system you take. If there is an operating system, that operating system is going to manage with your port numbers, and each port is associated with a specific purpose. Process is nothing but it's a service. Yesterday I told you, for example, if I want a file server, okay, if I want to create a file server, what is required? File service is required. So when do you get file service? So if a file service is running, then there will be a port number. That port number is associated with the services, then which will work as a file server. So if you activate file services, then file server which is going to be configured. So to create a file server, the protocol is required FTP. FTP is a protocol which will give file services. And similarly, we have a DHCP. If I want to create a DHCP server, then DHCP services is required. So for DHCP service, we require DHCP protocol. Hope you all I hope all of you understood this. So each port is associated with specific services. Now, ports allows allow a computers to easily differentiate between what kind of traffic, what kind of traffic is going to be delivered. It's going to be processing, it's going to be identified. Okay, so differentiate what kind of traffic you have. So to differentiate them, what is required? Port number. Example, one example, if I take, the mail goes to different a different port number than web page. If you open a web page, inside the web pages you have a mails, you have a text, you have a images, but web page contents takes a separate area, emails takes separate area, but everything is working in one page. That is your web page. So web pages, for instance, even though both reach the same computer over the same internet connections. I have a same internet connection, same computer, but emails goes to separate area, then web page, within the same web page content goes to separate area. So now a port number uniquely identifies a network based applications on a computer. If I take a computer, there will be applications. So web applications, directory services. So for every applications which is uniquely identifies with a port number. Ports are standardized across all network connections. If you have a network connections or connected devices, with each port assigned a number. For example, most ports are reserved. In this example, it's reserved certain services or protocols. Example, if I take, so port number 80, HTTP is a port number 80. Then POP3, yesterday I told you, POP3, Post Office Protocol version 3, which has a port number 110. HTTP has 80, and HTTPS has 443. So these are the different types of port numbers which will have on this applications. So while IP address enable messages to go to and from the specific devices, and port numbers allow targeting of specific services or applications. Port number range is 0 to 65,536. All port numbers are classified in three ways. So number one, well-known port number. Number 2, a registered port number. Number 3, public port number. If I take a well-known port number, the range for a well-known port number is 0 to 1023 is the range for well-known port number. It's a standardized port number that never change any number. So 1024 to 49,151. So these are the registered port number. Actually, registered by the software developers to a designated to a particular port for their applications. So that's why these are the registered port number. Only software developers, they used to have dedicated designated particular port number for their applications. And last one, 49,152 to 65,535. 65,535 are public port numbers, public ports. So again, if I take a port 02023, 02023, these are assigned to a specific server services that never change, to specific service server service. Next, port number 1024 to 49,151. These port numbers used by the application developers. They used to have application developers and they have to register in their range. Then last one, port number 49,152 to 65,536. These are public port numbers. These are the port numbers used by client programs, such as like web browser. I have a web browsers, so that web browsers will have this public port numbers. Whenever you visit a website, your browser will assign a particular session port number from within this range, and as an application developer, you are free to use any port number in this range. Now practically, if I wanted to see the port numbers, so port number 20 if I take, then the application of the port number is FTP, FTP data transfer. Then port number 21, FTP control. Port number 22, SSH, secure shell, secure shell. Port number 23, telnet. Port number 25 is SMTP, simple mail transfer protocol. Then if I take port number 53, I hope you yesterday you all remember this protocols list. So what I was telling is DNS, like a domain naming system, and port number 80 for HTTP. HTTP stands for hypertext transfer protocol. And port number 110, it's an example for POP, Post Office Protocol version 3. Then port number 143, it's applicable for IMAP, Internet Message Access Protocol. Then protocol 443, it's applicable for HTTPS. So secure, if the website is secure, then the port number 443. Then next you have port 465, SMTF, SMTPS, which means SMTP secure. Then 3389, this for RDP. RDP means remote desktop protocol. Then 67, bootp server. So bootp server used by the DHCP server. Okay. Then 68, this is used by the boot client. Bootp client means DHCP client. So you have to remember all this. Then in the NetBIOS, 161, most of the times we will use SNMP. So simple network message protocol. So these are the list. Okay, so now if I take the list of 1000 to 2023, you will be getting huge list. But I have listed only the most of the popular one like a DNS, HTTP, HTTPS, SMTP, IMAP, POP3, FTP. Okay, so these are the general and also most probably you have used on day-to-day life. So because of that reason, I have listed only the well-known port number. So well-known port number, the range 0 to 1023. So what is the use of port number? So which is going to provide a set of services for each applications. For example, if I wanted to run a DHCP, then you need to have a 67 port number and DHCP client will use 68 port number. So like that, each of the applications or applications which uses set of protocol, so that set of protocol makes applications. To run your applications we require services, that services which will use port numbers. So the port number start and end set of services. This is what I said in the beginning. So here this is going to be associated with a set of specific process or services, just like this one FTP protocol, which uses FTP server to run file services, and the DHCP server also which uses DHCP setup services. If you run services.msc, then you can understand what is the set of services you will be having. So the port also associated and also the computer easily differentiate what kind of traffic you have. Based on the traffic, the port numbers will give, and which is going to be differentiate what kind of data you have, what kind of informations you have. Okay, so example like email and web pages. So email and web pages both are working in the same what is that browsers, but the data that goes to in different directions. Based on this we have this port number concept. So you ask me if you have any doubts on this concept like port numbers and MAC address. So take a 2 minutes of time and just you go through this. If you have any doubts you ask me, then I'll clarify your doubts. Now, whatever I've discussed with you, that is only the basics part. So, in that basics part, so since day one, I discussed about IP address, and secondly, how to work with networking commands in Windows. Then, thirdly, explained about MAC address, then port numbers. So, these are the basic stuff which is required for our ethical hacking. So, basics I'll be writing. Now, times to start the real time concept like hacking. So, hacking is the process of exploiting the system vulnerability and compromising the system security to gain unauthorized access to the system resources. Please remember once again, hacking is the process of exploiting the system vulnerability and compromising the system security to gain unauthorized access to the computer resources. So whenever you access unauthorized access to the computer resources, and you can modify the systems or application features, and whatever you achieve a goal outside of the creator's original purposes. So this is actually the meaning of hacking. So hacking, what it is, it's the process of exploiting system vulnerabilities. Whenever you are exploiting the system vulnerabilities, and also you have to compromising system security system. Why I supposed to get the system security and also exploiting the system vulnerability? Very simple, to gain unauthorized access to the system resources. Resources like files, folders, any important applications, if you have everything which will get unauthorized way. And also it involves modifying system or application features to achieve a goal outside of the creator's original purpose. Now we have a term, one more term called as ethical hacking. Now you people are working for ethical hacking, not hacking. The training is for only ethical hacking. Again, ethical hacking is same, like it is a process to identify vulnerabilities. Please remember here, small changes. Process to identify vulnerabilities to assure system security by use of hacking tools, tricks, and techniques. But it focuses on simulating, please remember here, simulating methods used by attackers to verify the existence of exploitable vulnerabilities in the system security. In your computer, you have to verify what is your system security. In that security, verify once again, is there any existence exploitable vulnerabilities? If there is available existence exploitable vulnerabilities in your computer system or in your system security, so people would take the advantages and they will hack your system. So before hacking by the real-time attackers, the ethical hackers he will fine-tune that, identifying the vulnerabilities and assuring that system security is properly is working or not, and also how he will be verifying those things using the hacking tricks, techniques, and also the tools. Okay, he will simulating is the hackers, real time hackers, but he will try to identify the vulnerabilities here. Then real time hackers. Now there is one more time called as hackers. So hackers is an individual person or individual intelligent individuals who can able to spend a numerous amount of time exploring the computing resources like network, websites, and mobile devices, so on and so on, and identifying the critical vulnerabilities which can used for exploitation. He is called as hackers. So hacker, who is an hacker, is an intelligent guy and who can spend X number of X enormous amount of time on his personal life and exploring the computer resources such as like networks, websites, then mobile devices, so on, so on, and finally to identify the critical vulnerabilities which can used for exploitation he is called as hackers. Now again we have one more term called as ethical hackers. So ethical hackers is a person again is an expert in the computer internals and networking concepts who is going to try to find out that potential vulnerabilities on his target systems before attacker could use it without actually doing any harm to the information's computer systems on behalf of owners of the IT assets. He will be performing all his internal and also networking concepts and to find out the potential vulnerabilities of the target computer systems before hackers could use it. So he is called as hackers. Got it? And when we talk about the types of hackers, we have first one in that place. So black hat hackers. Hackers are also called as crackers. So the crackers is as I told you, is an individual person utilizing the computer skills for malicious activities and destructive activities. Activities also called as destructive activities, and he will be not worry about this. So whatever skill set, whatever he has, he will be using for destructive purpose. So he is called as crackers or black hat hackers. Now come to the second types of hackers is called as white hat hackers. So white hat hackers is also individual person utilizing his hacking skills for defensive purpose. Is working for offensively and is working for defensively. One minute. Sorry guys. So he is working for offensively, and he is going to be working for defensively. Next, we have one more called as gray hat hackers. So gray hat hackers, again, he is also individual person who work both offensively and defensively. Offensively also he will work, and also defensively also he will be working. So 50-50. So that's why he is called as gray hat hackers. And the next one, next type of hackers are also called as suicide hackers. So the suicide hackers, the hackers who aim to shut down their critical infrastructure for a cause, or not worried about that facing any punishment, is called as suicide hackers. They'll never bother about for punishment. And next we have a one more type, script kiddies. In internet, if you search, you will be getting only three types, like black hat hackers, white hat hackers, and gray hat hackers. But other list also there, like whatever I am specifying now. So script kiddies is a unskilled hacker who compromises the computer system by running the script tools and software developed by the real-time hackers. Means he don't know the much technical concepts, and he will take the advantages of the hacking tools and developed by the real-time hackers, and he is going to run the particular script and as well as tools to improve his skills in the hacking area. So indirectly, if I wanted to say, he is a unskilled hackers, unskilled hacker who compromise the system by running scripts and tools and software developed by real hackers. The next we have one more type of hackers, like a cyber terrorist. So cyber terrorist is also he'll be having hacking skills, but motivated by religious or politicals, motivated by religious or politicals to create a fear by large scale disruptions of computer networks. He is called as cyber terrorist, motivated by religious or political beliefs to create fear by large scale disruptions of computer networks. Next, we have one more person, like hacktivist. So, hacktivist who promote a political agenda by hacking, especially by defacing or disabling websites. So, he will take the revenges. Okay, if any company employees, existing employees, if they left their company, and they will try to take the revenge on against on their company. Okay, those are called as hacktivists. So hackers who promote political agenda by hacking, especially by defacing or disabling websites. The last one, state sponsored hackers. So state sponsored hackers, individual employed by the government to penetrate and gain confidential information, is called as state sponsored. Government only appointing them, and they wanted to have a real time confidential data from one government to another government. So that is the main reason, individuals employed by this government to penetrate or to gain the confidential informations. So, for example, India might be appointing some real-time hackers to gain some confidential informations about that some XYZ targeted area. So if they get confidential informations, then those are called as state-sponsored hackers. So you ask me if you have any doubts in this types of hackers, then what is ethical hacking and what is hacking, so on so on. Okay, now the next concept is why ethical hacking is necessary at this moment. So number one, to fight against on cyber crimes. Number two, to protect information from getting into wrong hands. Next, to build a defensive mechanism that avoids hackers from penetrating. Next, to test the organization's infrastructure security. These are the main reasons why ethical hacking is necessary. Ethical hackers need to think like malicious hackers. Okay, when he start thinking like a malicious hackers, then ethical hacking is necessary to defend against malicious hackers attempts by anticipating methods they can use in this they can use to break into the systems. These are the main reasons. When you did not start think like a malicious hackers, then this process will become difficult. Okay. Now if I wanted to hack or if I wanted to perform ethical hack, what are the steps we have? Steps to perform ethical hacking. Number one, reconnaissance. Number 2, scanning. Number 3, gaining access. Number 4, maintaining access. Number 5, clear tracks. Reconnaissance is nothing but also called as pre-attack phase. Pre-attack phase also called as footprinting. Reconnaissance also called as footprinting. In simple manner, footprinting. So in this phase, where the attacker is going to observe the target before launching the attack. So it may include the target organization, clients, employees, operations, network, systems, okay, so on and so on. So in simple manner, he has to collect some information. Okay, client information, employee information, operation information, network information, system information of the target organizations. So as an attacker, where the attacker is going to observe the target before launching the attacks, and he has to collect some information, is called as reconnaissance. Pre-attack phase, where an attacker observe a target before launching an attack. It may include the target organization, clients, then employees, operations, network, and systems. Come to second point or second phase. So in this second phase, so scanning is immediately preceding the attacks. Okay, here the attacker uses the complete detailed informations where is gathered during the footprinting or reconnaissance to identify specific vulnerabilities. Okay, as an attacker, he will try to make use of all the gathered informations during the reconnaissance to identify the specific vulnerabilities. Okay, so why I supposed to run the scanning? Because to identify the specific vulnerabilities. But without informations, gathered informations in the reconnaissance, I cannot able to run the scanning. Hope all of you understood. So the attackers use the details gathered during reconnaissance to identify specific vulnerabilities. An attacker can gather critical network information such as the mapping of systems, routers, and firewalls by using simple tools. So using some simple tools, you will try to identify, you will try to map the gathered informations in the critical network infrastructures, like the systems are going to be available in the complete networks, routers are available, firewalls are available, and which are the checkpoints. So he will try to managing, and he will try to implementing whatever he has gathered during the reconnaissance phase, and he will try to implement and getting that real time informations which are going to be working in the scanning area. So totally, the main purpose of running the network scanning is very simple. It is to identify, this is the one, so identify the specific vulnerabilities. So is that available specific vulnerabilities in the computer systems? Is that available in the routers? So if the firewall is working or not, the firewall is in on state or off state, and if that off state or if that on state, how do I get into the PC? And in that PC, what are the specific vulnerabilities are available? So to run all this, what is required? Reconnaissance is required now. Then third one, once you find that vulnerabilities, then what has to be done? I have to use a real hacking techniques or skills. So in this phase, in which real hacking occurs, it means, what I would like to say is, attackers use vulnerabilities. Use vulnerabilities identified during the footprinting or reconnaissance and scanning phase. Why? To gain access to the target system or network. I hope all of you understood. So the first two phases, it is the first phase is going to observe and collecting information. Afterwards, trying to find the vulnerabilities. So by running network scanning, then after that he will try to he will try to make use of that vulnerabilities, whatever he has gathered in during the reconnaissance and scanning phase. Mainly important to gain access, to gain the access to the target systems or network. If everything is that working, then finally the attackers gain access to the target systems, might be locally or over the internet. Over a LAN or over the LAN or WAN. Is that clear? Now, the thing is, next, whenever you access the target network, now the question is, how long will you maintain? This is important. Means the target network or target machine, and also it remains undetected whenever maintaining access, of the target machine and remain undetected. Attackers install a backdoor or Trojan to get repeat access. It is an important. How do I maintain uh, access for the target computer systems or network? Because as an attacker, he will try to install backdoors, backdoors or a Trojan to gain repeated access. Make ensure in your computer system if there is a Trojan. If there is a Trojan, so that Trojan is going to give repeated access, and also you doesn't comes to know about that the people who are going to access remotely using backdoor mechanism. So try to avoid if you have any malicious viruses like Trojans. So they can also install rootkits at the kernel level. Why I supposed to use rootkits at the kernel level? Because to gain administrative access, to gain full administrative access to the target computers. If I did not install backdoor, if I did not install rootkits, then I cannot able to maintain access. So how do I take the advantages? So in the third phase means gaining. Whenever you try to access, the attackers gain the target systems over the LAN or WAN. Once he is successfully try to install the backdoors or trojans or rootkits, then whenever you want you can maintain your access. The moment if he connected, the moment if he the particular machine gets started, once it gets power on, then immediately that will come to your computer systems, means that link automatically creates. That is what you are maintaining access. Then finally last one is clear tracks. Why I supposed to clear the tracks? It is for avoiding legal trouble. Attackers will overwrite the server systems and application logs to avoid suspicious and avoid the suspicious and erase all evidence of their actions. Okay, whatever actions if you perform on their computer systems, it will create a evidence. So you must know about how to clear my evidence whenever you try to access in their computer system. So then only the clear will get deleted. Now the final okay, in the final here itself, as attackers can execute scripts in the trojans or rootkits to replace the critical system and also log files to hide their presence in the system. It is all about hacking phases. So before you establish or before you run ethical hacking or hacking, make ensure that each one of the steps. So might be these two are very important. Sorry, last three are very important. Okay. So where you have to install rootkits, backdoor trojans, that is in the maintaining access. But to take the advantages of the vulnerabilities, then I supposed to go for gaining the access. Okay, so over a LAN or WAN. Okay, but the first two phases you have to collect the informations, and in the scanning try to identify what vulnerabilities you have. So we have to take the advantages of the vulnerabilities and try to work on maintaining access. So once if you are successfully become a uh, uh, what is it, as an actor, if you try to install successfully the backdoors in their computer systems, then automatically which will keep on giving you that links, and finally you try to delete all the evidence what system is going to be generated. So now the question is, so I have used some of the terminologies. The terminology is vulnerability. The vulnerability is a simple word, also called as it's a loophole, limitations or weakness that becomes a source for an hackers to enter into the system. It's called as vulnerability. Next we have exploit. Exploit is a software tool designed to take the advantages of the vulnerability in the computer system for malicious purpose. It's called as exploit. Then we have a one more called as payload. So payload is an action or set of operations has to be done on the target. Once that exploit successfully launched, it can be control the particular device. That is your payload. Next we have zero-day attack. Zero-day attack. Zero-day attack is nothing but the attacker exploits exploits the vulnerabilities before the software developer release the patch for them. I hope all of you understood. The attackers exploits the vulnerability before the software developer releases the patch for them. It's called as zero-day attack. I'll be writing again. Uh, the attackers exploits the vulnerabilities before the software developer releases patch for them. This is the main introduction part of ethical hacking. Now you ask me if you have any doubts. So type in the chat box if that understood. MAC address, port number, IP, and types of hackers, then phases of hacking methods, and each phase of the explanations. Use your chat box and you type as yes if that understood. Ashika says yes. Aditya saying that yes. Chandana yes. Jesh yes. Okay, so now I'll try to conduct one practical. You also try this. So the practical is what I'll be doing is I'll be taking one of the YouTube URL. I'll take some. So this is a URL. Just I'm copied. I've copied this URL. I'll be using Grabify, Grabify IP logger, and I'm pasting this, and I'm clicking for create a URL, and again I agree and create a URL. Now new URL has been created. So what I will do, I'll be copying this new URL. I will paste you in your WhatsApp. Okay. So now what you do is, so simply open that link. Please open that link and watch the video. That's all. Please open and just to play that video. So nothing will happen. I will show you later. So now I guess most of them you have opened. So what I will do, just I will refresh this page. When I am refreshing the page, could you see this number of devices So someone is opened through WhatsApp, someone is opened through Mozilla. Okay, and say this IP address of your device. I got it IP address here. Okay, so India, Bangalore. One is Mangalore, one is Mumbai. Okay, then one is Bangalore again, Delhi, Mumbai. So these are the countries list I'm getting, and also which internet connections, telephone connections you have, that also displaying in this area. Bharti means Airtel, Reliance Jio, again Airtel, then Altia. So I don't know what it is. Okay, it's a broadband connections. Then Reliance Jio, again Hathway. Okay, so like this, I have this information, and again in the second page also I'm getting another two IP address. So one is broadband, and again GPRS Airtel. Okay, now again come back to the main screen, like on the first page. Check out this IP address. So the IP address is available of your device. So there are some tools in whenever I pay some extra money, I can get some more information here, like in which area it's directly uh, connected to Google Map. Okay, which will show you that complete information. Okay, just IP address is enough. Now if I take IP location, iplocation.net. So just you type your IP. Just I copied one IP in this, and I clicking for IP lookup. Whenever you click IP lookup, look at this other detailed information I'm getting: IP address, country, region, and latitude, longitude, and if I click for map, that also will be displaying. So geolocation data, just it is a free of cost I'm getting all this, but when you pay for some XYZ tool, you will be getting accurate result. This is what I said, IP address. Clear guys? You also try this. So use Grabify tool, and here itself I have a IP lookup. So I'm using this IP, this first one. Okay, I'll be going for second one now. 124.40.244.90. Open this IP lookup, get the IP details. When you click for get the IP details, you can see now. So which city you are in, which country you are in, and which internet connections you have, service provider. This is a basic information where I am getting. Okay, like this there are some additional tools are also available. Now I wanted to see the MAC address of your device. Please enter your IP and try to get the MAC. Sorry. Copy this, paste. So it's not searching now. We'll try to use my MAC address. Type get MAC. If I try to type my MAC address, you can see here what I'm using now. This is one of the MAC address of the device and who is manufactured. Okay, and which country is manufactured, what is the manufacturer ID, and what is the starting and what is the ending. So this details also I am getting here. So just enter the MAC address of your device, that's also available here. Just you go to more information, click IP exposed. But this is your computer name, sorry, host name of your device. So asking for hiding this information, asking for the money VPN connections and all. It's enough. So like this, there are some additional tools, informations are available. And someone is used this IP address 244.190, operating system was Windows 10. So something like this displaying. Just it is an example of the first phase. The first phase is what? Reconnaissance. Port printing, also called as port printing. Hope all of you understood this practical, whatever I've conducted here. If that understood, you type in the chat box as yes. So you also try this, whatever I've shown you now. Copy that YouTube URL, go to what is it, a Grabify, and send that in WhatsApp group or somewhere, and try to access their IP. Okay, it's a basic activities. So not required any extra tool. You make use of internet resources itself is enough, and use the strategies and apply this. So in the next upcoming classes, I will tell you how to create our own uh, ethical hacking lab. So before that, still you have enough amount of time to copy that softwares into your laptop. Those who have not copied, so you contact our person, Mr. Anand. So he would tell you and how the resources is available for your computer systems, and we will help you to get into your laptops. Okay, see you guys. We'll meet up in the next class. So, if you have any query, you ask me before leave this session. Okay, so see you all. Meet you in the next class. Take care.